Okay, so I'm going to show you fellas how to add these connectors here. My daughter here is giving me a hand by videoing it, and I'm going to show you how it's done. So I'm going to take it from the beginning. First, we're going to take the wire. We're going to strip it. You don't need much. For the thing. That's a little too short, just for my sake, because I want to make sure it's easy. Now, the only thing I'm going to want to do at this point is level the ends. So now that the ends are kind of even, now what I'm going to do is strip those wires. That's probably just a bit too much, but I grabbed enough so I can show you so you can see it. So you can see that is probably going to be too much. So first thing I'm going to do is take these yellow pieces here and put them on just like so. I can see that's going to be too much. I'm just going to cut it off now because it is too far. You don't need much. You just need a little taste of what it's going to be. So I'm going to use these male ends, and what I'm going to do is just stick it on like this. And what I do is I give it a little squeeze with my hand first. Now, we're going to be wanting the crimpers next, and these are the crimpers right here. And it looks like for these ones, 1.5 is the one I use. And you're going to notice that in here, there's one size bigger and one size smaller. So I don't know if you can see that in the camera. My daughter's trying to do her level best. Yep, that looks good. So that there one here is the one I'm using. And there's one bigger and one smaller. So frankly, what you're going to do is just stick it in like this, hold down, and squeeze. And that's now on. And you're going to see it perfectly lined right there when you do it right. So the big part here is going to, on this side, I always hold it in my right hand. I stick it on, and it should cover the yellow stuff right there. I'm going to do it to the next one here, just so I have a complete pair. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go on and squeeze, and then that goes like that. Now that goes with the male, so that's going to be the male side of it, and you're going to see number 1 and number 2. In my house, I always make number 1 power and number 2 when I'm just using 2 wires, I make number 2 ground. So if I'm going to push it forward, if you look inside here, and I don't know if you can see inside there, you're going to see a top and a bottom. And if you take a look here, you're going to see that where that nipple comes out. That's got to go over something inside, and it locks when it comes out. So what I do is I try to line it up, and I take a look at it. In this situation, I look at the number. I can see the number 1 and 2. I know that's got to be on bottom. So there's number 2 was black for me, and number 1 is power. Sometimes it's easier to do it one at a time. And that's it. And that is on. Sometimes it's easy to do 1 wire at a time, but with these are solid core, it sometimes gets a little difficult. So I'm just going to square this one away here. I'm going to press use my strippers again. And then I'm going to just take a nipple off of the other side. There, I did a better job of that one. And we're going to do the same process, but we're going to do it with the female parts. So I'll put these 2 on. Sometimes it's easier to do one at a time. I'm going to take this part here, do the same thing. Put it over the yellow. Squeeze. That way it's just there. I don't have to play around with it. I'm going to do the same thing. Nothing changes. Over the yellow. And squeeze. Now I may have bent that just a little bit because the hard solid wire that was there. So I just straightened it back up. I'm going to do the same thing. Put it right on. And squeeze. Simple as that. Now with this part, you got to make sure this is out. They usually come out, but make sure it's out. Sometimes I'll just take it off altogether if I'm really messing around. Again, because I do, one is power and one is, you're going to notice the lip up here. You see the lip right there? That again is looking for something to go through. I look at the numbers, 2 and 1. 1 goes to power, 2 goes to ground. That's my rule of thumb. If I'm using a 3-piece, 1 will go to data. You just stick it in, and I heard 2 clicks. It's solid. I push that in, and now we have Completed piece, completely solid.